A lot of people obviously saw Trevon Diggs with that amazing interception Monday night versus D. Smith in Philly. Well, we go break it down and talk about the fine details of what made this so amazing, and there are split-second details that we go break down at Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Let's go. So getting right into it, it's a lot that happened on the play with Trevon Diggs, and we go break it down because it's a lot of nuance in this play that I would say most people won't see. I played the position, so I'm certain I know exactly what happened in this play, because first you got to look for a clue of what happened. So if you kind of break it down and I go kind of screen by screen, one thing that you notice, the first thing that you notice that he's breaking first on the correct foot. That's what a lot of people miss when they looking at cornerback. You have to look at what foot they're breaking on, because that gives you a split second advantage. So whenever you're going right, you always want to break on your left foot and go with your right foot. That's the first thing that he does well. Another thing that I want you to notice in breaking down this play is he's already breaking before D. Smith is even out of the break, of his break. So you see he's driving, Diggs is driving before D. Smith is showing any kind of evidence of the out route. So you got to say, how did Diggs know that a short route was coming, and why did he break on it so fast? How do you break on a receiver faster than he breaks himself? Because they always tell us that cornerback is a reactionary position. You can see here he's reacting way before D. Smith is out his break. So we go break down how did he do it and his intelligence. It shows his growth. First, you can get a clue on a route based on 4 different things. There are formation tips. You can memorize an audible. You could also read their 3-step. There's another thing that's also 4, but I'm not going to mention it because D. Smith didn't show it. It's also receiver body language. So a lot of receivers give up what they're doing with their body. Like when I used to scout receivers, a lot of receivers, when they used to stop, they used to first raise up before they would drop their weight. So you could see it coming, which will allow you to break on it like Diggs. But see, D. Smith didn't show that, so I'm not going to talk about that. So it had to be one of the other 3. Either it was an audible from the similar play. They didn't run that play on Diggs before, so that's not it. The formation tipped it off, which it did not, because I looked at all the film on Philly and they didn't run this route out of this formation. So it left one thing. Diggs was able to break on it faster than D. Smith because he read what's called the 3-step. Okay, so 3-step is where you're basically reading the backdrop of the quarterback. So whenever a quarterback, and I just want to play this real quick, I'm going to play it real time. Diggs is looking at Hurts. And so when Hurts stops, that's when Diggs is going to break, because it's a short drop, which also tells you when he see that drop, he's breaking. He's already breaking, but he broke on it because of intelligence. He broke on it because he read the drop or the 3-step of Hurts. So when I'm explaining 3-step, this is how it works. I was taught this from an NFL coach my junior year in Division I football. If I would have known about this my whole years playing corner, I probably would have had like 15 interceptions, and 4 of them probably would have went to the house, because 3-step really works. And this is how it works. Whenever a quarterback makes a 3-step drop or a simple drop, you can guarantee that the routes are going to also follow his feet work. So if it's a 3-step drop, you're going to see a slant, a stop route, or quick out, and you can anticipate it. That's the key to being able to break on this, like Diggs did. He saw the 3-step, and that's why the first step what you do when you're reading a receiver and a quarterback is you're supposed to take what's called a read step, and that's where you're reading the quarterback. And if you watch Diggs, that's exactly what he's doing. If you look at his eyes, you can see that his head is inside. He's not peeking at D. Smith, he's peeking at Hurts. And so exactly when he breaks, so I'm gonna stop it right there. So remember, he's driving. He was driving on the ball way earlier than D. Smith even started coming out of this break. That's because the quarterback gave it away with his feet. So the last question that I'm gonna say, and why does this work? And who does this work on? Which shows Diggs' growth. The type of quarterbacks that you can get away with this maybe 3 or 4 times a season is young quarterbacks, over aggressive quarterbacks. And over aggressive quarterbacks are the type of quarterbacks that's going to attack you, whether they're going to go at their receiver, just period. They just aggressive. Also, quarterbacks with made up minds. So pre-snap, Hurts already knew, I'm throwing this to D. Smith. He had a made up mind. He wasn't going to read the break of Diggs. He wasn't going to read it. He had his mind made up that D. Smith is going to win. He probably been converting it all week at practice, but he didn't know that Diggs is a mature corner now, and he does the details right. This was a split-second decision where Diggs saw that his mind was made up and he was already breaking on it. You can also get quarterbacks that throw in rhythm. So when quarterbacks are throwing in rhythm and they going downfield, a lot of times they also will predetermine their throw. So these are the type of quarterbacks you can make those type of plays with. Also situational. So like a 2-minute offense where you know they're getting ready to attack the sidelines for clock preservation. So situational football can tell you when to be aggressive. So like I said, I was going to break this entire play down so you can see what really happened. And if we break down what happened, we looking at Diggs through intelligence, who basically read the 3-step, broke on it, took it all the way to the house, and got that epic celebration and an epic play. Great maturity, great savviness from Diggs. And hopefully you learned a little bit more about cornerback. And I'm going to show you right here, because I talked about his eyes. I'm gonna show you one more time, because the end zone view shows it clear. Look at his eyes. Who was Diggs looking at? Look at his eyes. It's clear. Is he looking at D. Smith? No. His eyes is reading clearly the 3-step of Hurts. And so I'm gonna say one last thing as I explain 3-step. 3-steps work mechanically because of your eyes. Your first thing that you read is the drop of the quarterback, and you have a half a second to do it. Your next eye progression is supposed to go to the hips of the receiver. You're supposed to stem, or don't let him break your cushion. You also drive through his numbers to the ball. That's the perfect eye progression and cornerback ways to attack while reading 3-step. So, and you see Diggs, he does it perfectly. Because some people saying it was because D. Smith failed. No, he was go pick this I'm just gonna tell y'all, he was gonna pick this, period, because of the 3-step, not because D. Smith falling. He was already driving on the ball. That was gonna be a pick 6, whether D. Smith fell or not. That's Boss Cowboy Sports. If y'all want more film breakdowns like this, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be doing way more breakdowns of our players with the Dallas Cowboys and why they're making the epic plays that we're starting to see over and over. I'm out.